You're right, everyone. Welcome back to the Aberdeen Let's Play. We are at the winter break, so we've just gone past the 1st of January. We've played our final game of the first half of the season, I guess. We're going into a 3-week winter break with a few plans for the transfer window. We're still slugging away at the top of the table, even though my players seem just bloody-mindedly trying to throw it away. But we're slugging away at the top of the table. We're having a lot of fun. Let's take you through what's going on. So as you can see from the table, 48 points, equal with Celtic. As you can see from the little red arrow, though, we've just lost first position to Celtic because, I mean, we went on a really good run. We drew 2-2 to Rangers, in the previous game, in a game that we absolutely dominated, and we conceded one of the most ridiculous goals I've seen. Well, it's the most ridiculous goal I've seen this year, but it's one of the most ridiculous goals I've seen in a long time. I don't understand the thought process that my goalkeeper's going through at this point, or my defender, or any of these people. So there's a shot here, as you see, it's deflected into the air. My keeper just completely ignores it. Completely ignores it. Jenks is just watching it. I mean, to be fair, he jumps for it, misses it completely. Then, yeah, my keeper's just watching it. Hadji finishes at the far post. The weirdest thing, we do manage to drag it back with a 91st minute goal from Ramirez, who's actually started putting in some performances now. Maybe it's because, I mean, it's a great goal, by the way, but maybe it's because we have actually finally brought in a striker to kind of challenge him. As you can see, it's a game that we should have won comfortably, but didn't. Story of many, many 2-2 draws this season. Lost 2-1 against Ross County because Mikey Johnson decided that he wanted the day off, essentially. So he got sent off after 20 minutes. They scored an absolute screamer. So they, obviously, they scored a couple of goals, but I think it was the Watson goal was an absolute screamer to give them the win. We tried really hard to get back into it. I actually pushed some players out. We're still playing attacking up to the 90th minute. Yeah, this one's cleared out. Laid off to Watson, who just, again, screamer. You don't save those. I'm never too mad when I concede those kind of goals. Either set pieces or just like really low percentage chances, shots from distance. When they go in the top corners, there's not a lot you can do. It's not a tactical error that's causing those goals to go in, other than the tactical error of only having 10 men on the pitch, of course. But other than that, as you can see, really good form. We're playing really well. We have tweaked the tactics slightly. We're playing with the DLF on attack still. We're going just to standard wing backs. God, look at all these players that I'm missing. We've gone back just to standard wing backs. I thought the complete wing back wasn't quite working how I wanted it to. And we have moved to just standard wingers, staying wide. I'm still not a massive fan of inverted wingers or inside forwards this year. I just can't get them to click properly. We've moved to wingers. They're playing a lot better. My striker's getting better chances from it. They're still getting in at the far post and scoring goals. So kind of doing the stuff that I want inside forwards to do, but also just being a bit more creative. So, yeah, that's the system. We're still using the kind of workhorse, workman-like midfield. I do also have a counter-attack system, which is more reserved. Try and hit people on the break that I tend to use away against the big teams. But to be honest, we've just been sticking with our attacking system for the vast majority of the time, and it's working really well. As I said, though, we did bring in a new striker. He's actually injured at the minute. He's out for a couple of weeks, but like I say, we've got a 2-week break, or 3-week break in the winter break, so we should be back for the run in our second half of the season. We're brought in Gonzalo Canero, who's got himself 2-2 starts, 1 off the bench. Really good little player. We're using a deep line forward, and I really like the fact that he's got a good first touch, good dribbling, good technique, and he's got decent vision and passing as well. His mentals aren't great, lacking determination, which is not something that I tend to like in my players, but I'm willing to let it slide at the minute. He's also got decent jumping reach, but I've never seen a 6'3" guy with 9 strength before. Strange. But I'm hoping he can challenge Christian Ramirez for that forward spot and like really put some pressure on and create a bit of a competitive atmosphere. Like I say, Ramirez has actually recently been knocking some goals in. He's now got 7 goals in 15, which isn't a bad return, to be honest, considering only one of those is a penalty. So he's actually doing all right. Hopefully they can continue to push each other on. I think those wingers are helping as well. They're getting a lot more chances in the box. And another thing that I have done as well, actually, that I forgot to mention, is I stopped working the ball in. Because I found that we were just kind of like hitting the inside edge of the box and then turning back outside and passing back round too much. So I've taken that off, but I have put shoot less often basically on everyone other than my striker. So yeah, tactical tweak, new player in. We've also got a few players who are leaving and a few players who are rejoining on loan. So we did have Dom Dwyer on loan. Didn't really do a lot. Wasn't great. Wasn't the kind of player that I wanted him or needed him to be, really. I wanted someone who had a little bit more energy, a little bit of kind of pace in behind. And whilst he should be able to do that, he didn't really do it. So I'm not too sad to see him go back to Toronto FC. And all the best for him in the MLS. One big thing that has happened, though, is we have had an injury, a pretty bad injury, to our captain and actually a really good performer this year. He's been averaging over a 7, which for a holding midfielder, I always find is really good. He's got a hip injury. He's out with a specialist. He's out for another 2 months, but it is already affecting his physical attributes, as you'd expect, really. So we need to start thinking about a long-term replacement plan for Scott Brown. At the minute, I'm playing Ross McCrory, so he's been pulled up from, I was playing him at centre-back. He's now playing as the anchor man, and he's doing a decent job of it, to be fair. He can play there, and we can certainly see out the rest of the season with him, with players like Teddy Jenks and even Dylan McGeek, who can drop in there and do a job in that defensive midfield role as and when we need him. And we have also just seen Ronald Hernandez return as well. So really like pacey, decent delivery, mentally not the best, but good technique, good work rate. You know, he'll do the job that we need our right backs to do, which is get up the pitch and get balls into the box. So I'm looking to bring him, actually I'll do it right now, move to the senior squad. He's back off loan, which means that I need to figure out a way of trying to get Julian DaCosta back, because he's, at the minute, sat on the bench a lot. He's started a few games and he's done all right, but he is earning £5,250 a week, which is one of our top earners. He's our 4th top earner, and he's essentially he's our second choice / third choice right back at the minute, with the return of Fernandez, and he's on 1.2 grand a week. He's valued at 1.4 million. If we get some bids in that region, I'm probably going to let him go. But first priority is try and get Julian DaCosta back to, where's he even from? Coventry. On loan from Coventry. So yeah, hopefully try and get him back. One final thing, speaking of transfers, Lewis Ferguson is continuing to tear the league up. He's one of the best performers. He's our top scorer. He's got 15 goals and 5 assists in 22 starts. 11 and 4 in the league in 17 starts. Missed a few games due to injury, but he's still playing really well. Luckily, no one is sniffing around him at the minute. Villa were. It wouldn't surprise me if someone came in for him in the summer at least, if not January. I really want to try and keep hold of him. I've tried to offer him a new contract, but he wants a mandatory, like an unnegotiable minimum fee release clause of around 5 million quid, which I think we can get more. He seems fairly happy to have an asking price of around 9.5 million quid. Yeah, happy with 9.75 million. So I think we can maybe, if someone comes in, try and negotiate up to 10 million or maybe 9 and a bit and a percentage of a future fee, something along those lines, which is obviously not something we want to do. I don't want to lose him, but if we have to, then so be it. And we can use that money to rebuild and reinvest. So there we go. Out to the winter break. We're going to be continuing with working through the winter break, maybe doing that transfer business, maybe a couple of friendlies as well. Today for you over on twitch.tv/VikingDan. Be live there at 2 p.m. And we'll see if we can keep our pressure on Celtic and Rangers at the top of the table. Should be pretty fun. We're having a great time over there. Hopefully I'll see you at some point. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, if you want to see more of this, give me a like, drop a comment down below, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you next time.